Judith M. L. Ron Hubbard died in 1986. That means that in 2037, life plus 50 years, his works enter the public domain in New Zealand, Canada, and a few other countries. That's only 16 years from now. Does the Church of Scientology have any plan for what happens when Hubbard's works enter the public domain? Without the copyright protection, what would stop someone from taking Hubbard's writings and starting a rival church? All right, Judah, thank you for this. Now, I am by far not a copyright expert, but I will tell you what I know or think I know about this, because this is the sort of the word around the campfire in the ex-Scientology world from the time I got into it. And that is that Miscavige has been revising and re-editing all of Hubbard's works specifically to renew the copyrights on the material so that it does stay under copyright and service mark protection under the Church of Scientology, so other people can't just take them and run off with them. Specifically, they make these little changes or adjustments, and this is pretty much, they take all the commas out of Science of Survival, and they say it's it's your new book, new copyright. As of this date, this work is now copyrighted and they can carry forward. And this has been done with every single one of Hubbard's books, or at least all the basic books, and of course, all of his lecture materials. And they can edit and make changes and re-release and re-copyright it and keep the copyrights under their control. And that's what they've been working on, as I understand it. And in fact, a rival church or two actually has come along the line. In fact, fairly recently, there was an independent Church of Scientology put together, which tried to incorporate and which Scientology went after. And if I remember right, I think that's either still up in the air or they might have taken them to court. I don't remember exactly what happened with that, but an effort was made to try to use Scientology in a copyrighted sense by a non-Church of Scientology official group, and I don't think Scientology was down with that. I think they went after them. But otherwise, I think the copyrights are actually still in force. And this is not just something Scientology nefariously does. I mean, Disney's been doing this forever. There's a ton of intellectual property out there that gets this kind of treatment by these, ruthless companies that don't want their works going into the public domain. So they make changes to them, or they update them, or they even go back and they get the laws changed. I mean, there has been a lot of work done by Disney specifically, I'm sure other companies too, to keep their copyrights enforced by gaming the system, or by, making, this is why, these live action remakes of Cinderella and Snow White and Sleeping Beauty, all this stuff, Pinocchio, I think most recently. This is one of the reasons these things happen, is because they reproduce the work, and I think they get to recopyright it or something like that. Like I said, I'm not exactly an expert on this, but that's how I kind of understand it works. And so that's why Scientology is not really too concerned about, their copyrights running out. At the same time, they're really so hampered now in going after people who are violating their copyrights or trademarks that they don't really do a whole lot with that. Like I said, that recent independent church, I just can't remember exactly what happened with that, but I haven't seen them going after too many people on this lately, and that's kind of interesting for a number of reasons. But there you go.